Congrats to those of you that like the New York Islanders. Couldn't say playoff spot last night. Congratulations to those of you that took the over on how long it's going to take for Aaron Rodgers to actually be on a football team this year. And congratulations to the rest of us who are somehow, some way getting by in this ridiculously crazy world that we live in. And it has reached a new low, Evan. Good afternoon. How are you, buddy?
I'm actually doing really well
you
today.
doing well?
Thank you,
Because
sir.
the Metsies have a day off today.
Mets have a day off. Nets are in the playoffs. Islanders are in the playoffs. In fact, every local New York, New Jersey winter sports team is in the playoffs.
And what am I going to be, one of those hack shows that goes, the last time this happened was 1994.
Well, I told you 3 weeks ago that.
1994, when we started 1994, everyone's favorite TV dad was Bill Cosby. There was a guy on TV that was beloved by people coast to coast. His name was O.J. Simpson. True story, by the way. Think about how much things have changed.
Oh, things have changed.
In the 29 years
things have changed.
since all of the hockey and basketball teams made it to the postseason in the same year.
Yep.
Like, if you think about it, and it's well within our lifetimes, certainly mine, right? And you were a little itty-bitty kid, 5, 6 years old?
10 years old.
Oh, yeah, so right?
Of course I know. I remember it well.
I remember what I was doing during the Knicks Rockets.
What were you doing?
Well, I don't like to talk about it on the radio. Yeah, I remember I had a lot of singles with me, though. And I'm not quite sure why.
Wow, you're that old?
What happened?
You're that old? I forgot.
1994, I was 25 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was living at the Corman Suites building on Spring Garden Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Look at you.
And I was on the radio in Philly because I was the youngest guy in America doing full-time talk.
Look at you.
I've had some kind of career, haven't I?
And then you were flipping singles at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, I was sitting in my living room. There was a home service, though.
Oh, really? I didn't know that existed.
We'll get to all the other stuff with the Jets and Saquon and all that jazz in a minute. There's something happening right now in every community in the state of New York that I think we need to address because it's getting crazy now. New York State is passed a law that officially outlaws, keyword, outlaws the use of any type of indigenous people reference for public school mascots. In other words, if you grew up and you, what was your thing? What was your school?
Golden Tornadoes of Lawrence.
That'd be allowed. What was your Big Mac? Where are you in Warwick? What's your thing?
Well, I didn't go to school in Warwick.
I know.
Seahawks. I was the Cary Seahawks.
Okay, what are you now? If you don't mind me asking.
The Wildcats.
The Wildcats. So you're safe.
Yeah.
Tommy, do you have one, or should I just move on?
No, the Bethpage Golden Eagles.
I don't know if that's allowed now, but here's the deal. It's now outlawed. Meaning it's illegal. It's against the law for you to use any type of indigenous reference to your school.
Even if it's positive?
Yeah. So in other words, if you, I went to New Rochelle, we were the Huguenots, but if we were the New Rochelle, Warriors, and it was an ode to Native Americans who founded my town, right? No good. And here's why I'm bothered by it. Not a majority, but there are a significant number of towns in the state of New York, streets in the state of New York that are an ode to the Native American people.
Towns.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do we go from the name of our town is some type of symbolic towards a Native American tribe or group or any other name you want to use for that? And that's okay, and that's an honoring of those folks from hundreds of years ago. But I can't name the high school after them.
Well, there's a difference between something that's clearly negative and offensive, like the Washington Redskin name.
Okay.
I think we mostly would agree, wasn't really that honorable.
But Indians is not inherently offensive,
or
right?
Braves.
Right.
Braves is not a negative thing. So I don't know. Now, is that for all schools or just public schools?
As I read it, and I'll go over it again.
Because there is a difference. Like, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that public schools are, they're public, right? They're funded by us. A private school, to me, would be a little bit different. I don't think you're legitimately telling a private school.
Public schools.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has to be done by the 24-25 school year.
Oh, so we still have 2 years to be Warriors?
Yeah, so you've got like a year and a half, a year, whatever it is, to get your act together and to eliminate any reference or imagery of anything that's indigenous, a.k.a. Native American. And I don't know, like, I recognize there are some terms, well, I'm not bothered by them, or certainly bothersome. You gave a great example. Redskins is inherently offensive. Now, the origin of it wasn't, the original reuse of it wasn't. It was a bad attempt to honor, a tribe or a group of Native Americans. But yes, we would like if we used any other color and put skins after it.
Right.
We would say, yeah, maybe change that, right?
Right.
But like, why? I just don't get it. Like, if you're named the Warriors, which is something to be proud of, I would think, right? The warrior spirit, or just Indians alone. And again, I am a Caucasian American. I am not Native American. My sensitivity for sure is not going to be the same. So if I happen to lose this battle and I'm wrong, I'm good with it. But when I hear that we're passing laws to outlaw names, I've got a problem with it.
Well, and also, is the Native American community deeply offended by some of these names? Because I think if they were, we would listen and say, okay, maybe it should be changed. But a lot of these names are honoring names like you talked about.
Yeah, you can't have
Most of them are.
You can't have any names, logos, or mascots. So if you're known as, I don't know, the East Islip Warriors, and I'm just making that up. I don't know what the hell they're called.
Right.
And your imagery is something that's related to Native Americans.
You have to, by law, change it in the next 2 years.
Or you're going to be fined.
Oh, wow.
Like the township, the municipality is going to be fined. And look, I'm down with a lot of the changes that we've made across the board. I'm not down with all of them. Some of them are ridiculous to me, my sensibilities.
Right.
Some are spot on. I don't think it's one size fits all.
No, you're 100% right. Every case you have to look at differently.
Yeah. I don't care that Bud Light has to deal with a transgendered influencer. What do I care? Right? If I like Bud Light, I'm going to drink it. Right?
Right.
But I don't understand this blanket law that now says if your local public school has honored a specific group of Native Americans, even if it's all in the right place, nobody's complaining, it's all for the right reason, you're no longer allowed to do it.
The other thing I don't like about it is I don't like the government, specifically Albany now, telling me in a town far away in the state of New York, this is what you have to do.
Right.
Why can't the community itself make that decision on its own? If there's an outcry in that community against that name, fine, go change it.
Right.
If the community as a whole, they're good with the name, they think it's an honoring name, then don't change it. So I also have an issue with kind of legislation coming from the top where up in Albany, they're going to tell some school in Suffolk County
by the way,
what to do.
And that school has a superintendent. They've got tax-paying citizens who have a voice. They've got a mayor. They've got a city council.
Right.
And if it was bad and people found it objectionable, they can govern themselves.
It's a local decision.
Right.
It should be a local decision.
And listen, there are some, is Chiefs inherently offensive? Is Warriors inherently offensive? I mean, tell me it is, okay? I don't believe that it is. I don't believe the name alone, Indians, is necessarily offensive, right? And we have a very proud heritage in New York and in New Jersey of towns and streets being named after different Native American groups of people.
Yep.
And we do that to honor their legacy, not to mock them or make fun of them. So, for example, if I go to Wantagh, using a name that we all know, that's not an American name.
Right.
That's a Native American name.
Right. Yep.
Shinnecock Hills.
Yes.
Native American, right? So I think we go down a path sometimes that's actually more dangerous than, good.
Yeah, no question.
And I think this is one of them.
No question. I agree with you, man.
Now, if you told me that, Native Americans find a specific name offensive, a mascot offensive, a drawing acknowledging their people.
Yeah, but Native Americans aren't the ones making this decision right now. Right? I haven't heard an outcry from the Native American community. If there was, I do think it changes the story. But I don't think that's the case with a lot of these team names and school names.
Know. The whole thing is just very strange to me. And again, I agree with some of the changes.
Yeah,
I don't agree with all changes.
Absolutely.
I don't think how anybody could.
They're not all created equal, every change that's made.
No, and I think ultimately we collectively are far too sensitive about a lot of things.
Yes.
But this one it struck me today. I just saw it. on social media that it's now official, and TS schools have until 24-25 school season to make the changes, or they will be fined by the
curious,
state.
in the state of New York, and we are a big state, even though we forget half of it exists when you go upstate, how many schools are going to be subjugated to this?
It's got to be thousands.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that number's
Hundreds for
huge.
sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big
Right?
number.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, like the kidnapped capital of the world, which is on the sign when you go to Warwick, I'm sure there are schools in Warwick. I'm sure there are schools in Westchester County.
Yeah.
I'm sure throughout Long Island, and on and on and on. It's just, do we really need laws for this?
No.
Or am I crazy?
No, you know what? That's probably my biggest problem with all of it, is the fact that you're creating a law and implementing it on all these local towns when they should be able to make their own decision. Each school district should be able to make their own decision.
Yeah.
When a school district decides to change their name, whatever. Like, I look at it, and I see it in the news. It's like, whatever. They decided to do it. They want to change the name, change the name.
Yeah.
I don't like when it's being forced from the top.
I tell you the one school change that was the dumbest of all.
Go ahead.
So, as you know, used to be the St. John's Red Men.
Yes.
I get the sensitivity of that for sure.
Yep.
So it became Red Storm. And there was a big hoopla about it, but now no one even thinks about it because it's been Red Storm for a couple decades now, right?
Right.
But Evan, you're going to love this. I'm a Syracuse graduate. Proud, loved my time at Syracuse, okay? They got caught up in this woke thing about, it's got to be 10 years ago now, right? Where, oh my God, we need to change. We can't be the Orangemen anymore. And for 50 years, as you know, it was the Syracuse Orangemen. Now, let me just ask, is anybody offended by Syracuse Orangemen? I don't believe so. The ladies' sports were known as the Syracuse the Orange Women. For example, I did play-by-play when I was in school for the Orange Women basketball team. And that's what they were known as, Syracuse Orange Women. Seems fair, right?
Right.
They got so caught up in the woke crap that they're no longer the Orange Men, and the women's teams are not the Orange Women. We are now just the Orange.
Just the orange.
Yeah, because they thought people might be offended if they went to the Carrier Dome and we were promoting the Orange Men. Yeah. Now, you know the next one? I saw this. This is on a federal level, but it's going to affect us here as well. And you're not going to like this. Do you know that they are outlawing the term history from all schools in America?
Come on.
Yep.
What the hell does that even mean? They're
It's no
outlawing
longer
it?
history.
So there's no class anymore? It's over?
I think they're just calling it story. Yeah, they're taking the his out of history because it's not fair to women.
Have you heard about Manhattan? Manhattan apparently is going to have a name change as well.
Yeah, it's called They Hadn't. I think that's where it's going. But I mean, that's obviously an extreme, but that's the direction we're going in, right? That's so stupid. 877-337-6666. If you have dealt with any of this stuff in your local town, I'd love to hear from you. We will get to Saquon Barkley. Do not worry. Do not overreact to the news that Saquon Barkley's not going to sign, the franchise tag before, the upcoming voluntary minicamp. It is a non-story, folks. Saquon Barkley's a New York Giant. He's going to be a New York Giant, at least for this year. I'm not saying he's getting a deal done, but the notion that people are panicked now, Saquon didn't sign it, why would he? You got to the end of July to sign it anyway.
Well, and the other good thing with
Go
him is
ahead.
that he's not going to voluntary workouts, but he was with Daniel Jones and some of the receivers last week working out with them. So that shows you he's committed to playing for the New York Giants, but he has to make a business decision right now.
Saquon Barkley will never play another game for the New York Giants.
So he's gone.
I mean, there's certainly a chance that happens
I'm
too.
sorry, who said that? Where'd that voice come from?
By the way, so far I'm right. Now,
Yeah, but wait a second.
Yeah.
Is he going to play another game for the New York Giants?
Well, we'll get to that later on.
Of
I'm just
course he
saying,
is.
if you're a diehard Giant fan, don't panic about today's news.
Okay, should
or
you-
late yesterday's news?
Should you panic about the other Giant news, which is that Dexter Lawrence isn't showing up either?
No, let me just memo to everyone who may not understand this, and this is just a fact. Veteran players don't like going to this early minicamp. They despise it. First, they got to travel. If they don't live here, they got to travel. That's a pain in their ass. They have an off-season workout program. 95% of them are really good with it. They do their thing, and they're ready to go. Veterans hate these minicamps. Secondly, they're voluntary.
Well, I think it's more Saquon Barkley and Dexter Lawrence, and it's different. Saquon's got the tag. He'll eventually sign. Dexter's looking for a big contract, which he deserves. they don't have recourse. Like, what could Saquon Barkley do right now other than call up Joe Shane
Nothing.
and say, dude, what the hell's going on? There's nothing you really can do. So your only action is to do these little things like, hey, I'm not going to show up for the voluntary workout.
Blah, blah, blah.
Now, will this lead to a Saquon holdout? No. Will this lead to a Dexter Lawrence holdout? No. Now, unfortunately for them, Joe Shane knows that, so it's not going to affect the negotiations.
It has no impact.
But that's
on
all
things.
you're trying to do if you're an athlete.
Saquon's trying to get some guaranteed money. I don't blame him. Maybe he never plays for them again because someone comes in and goes, yeah, we'll give you 2 first-round picks.
No.
Highly unlikely.
No, and look, the fact he's working out with Jones already shows you he knows the handwriting's on the wall.
Listen, he plays a position that unfortunately does not get rewarded the way average quarterback play does. If you're an average quarterback, you get $82 million guaranteed, and everybody celebrates it. If you're a great running back, you don't. And that's just the facts of the situation, and that's where we're at. We'll get into that. We got some baseball to get into, and we've got why the Yankees are the most blessed franchise in all of sports, and you should be lucky that you root for them if you do. Best GM, best manager, best player in the sport.
Wow.
We'll go down that road.
You're
around the
really
show.
kissing some ass today.
And beyond that, another day goes by, another day, no Aaron Rodgers, and now other members of the media are starting to report what I've been telling you for 2 weeks. It ain't happening anytime soon. Oh, and by the way, they do want a first-round draft pick. Huh? Interesting.
They can want one. They're not getting one.
A little late to the party, are we?
They're not getting one. In 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, believe it or not, 2 weeks from today,
Yeah,
NFL draft.
that's right.
2 weeks from today.
Good. Hold your breath. Don't hold your breath.
The New
Hold your
York
breath. Don't hold
Jets
your
will be
breath.
selecting at 13.
That's right. I wonder who's going to play quarterback for them. Maybe they'll draft a quarterback. You never know. Here's Mike in East Islip on the fan. Hey, Mike, what do you got going on, kiddo?
How are you boys today?
Great. What's up with you?
What's up?
East Islip, my good friend and your buddy Boomer Esiason graduated, and we were the East Islip Redmen.
To be fair, if we ever check those transcripts, did he graduate?
Well, I was a couple years older, so
Yeah, I'm just
I was
teasing.
gone by then. But I think either that or he just snuck off to Maryland, and played some football. But he's a pretty good guy. But anyway, we've been the Redmen forever. Even when St. John's changed their name, there was, we're going to change our name. It was never officially done, but about 2 years ago,
Right.
on our high school, it says Home of the Redmen right on the high school. The sign came down. So it's no longer Home of the Redmen. And if you go to our website, it says East Islip High School, home of East Islip Pride. They've never officially changed the name, but they just snuck it out on us.
They kind of took all reference to it out, but they didn't
Right.
make an official change where you're now known as something else.
The one thing that's different about that, without even debating the name or not name, is that came, I think, from people who graduated from the high school protesting the name. So it wasn't legislated from Albany. It was people who disagreed with the name, thought it was offensive, and so it was like this internal debate, which I don't have an issue with. Like, that's what we should do as a local community.
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
debate it amongst ourselves and not have politicians from upstate tell us what to do.
So
You
it
see
said-
that? To me, that's a big difference.
I think it is a big difference. I'm looking at a picture in the article I think you're referencing there from September of 2021, East Islip High School, home of the Redmen. And they removed the quote-unquote controversial mascot logo. But it does not say if they changed it to anything. So what they did was this. They responded to a change.org petition that had 14,000 plus signatures on it. Oh, we want to make these folks go away. So you take all signage down so they don't see it
So
anymore.
keep the name, but just take the sign down.
Keep the name, but don't let them see the name.
That's kind of like what Jeff Wilpon did when the Mets went into Citi Field. We'll never show you the logo, but there's still the Mets. Trust us.
Yeah, and by the way, Boomer thought that they named the arena after him. They were just hiding from the fact that they're the Redmen. That's all. We'll get more of your calls. Plus, I've not shared this with Evan yet.
Uh-oh.
There's a major controversy brewing with your favorite baseball team.
With my favorite baseball
And
team.
I no joke, a major controversy brewing with your favorite baseball team and Tommy's favorite baseball team. Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be on the same side of the controversy?
I'm just going to tell you what it is. I'm not on a side.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll wait. I'll tell you what. 3 o'clock, I will tell you the controversy and see if you have a dog in it, okay?
Okay.
It is It is beyond
You're very
fascinating.
You're very
This
good.
New York Met controversy.
Since we've been working together, you've
Yeah.
actually been pretty good at predicting where I'm going to fall on certain issues.
Yes.
Do you have an idea of where I will fall on this
You
big
will be
controversy?
bothered by it, but you will say, I'm over it.
I'm bothered by it, but I'm over it. Okay.
Yes, it'll bother you,
Okay.
is in my guess. And then you'll say, how do I don't want to phrase this appropriately. You'll be bothered by it. You'll now say, I'm okay with it. I'm past it. But had I known about it when it happened, I would have had a major problem with it.
Okay.
I think that's where we're at.
All right.
Yeah, it is bat bleep crazy.
Bat bleep crazy?
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
Huh.
Major controversy.
Major controversy.
Dude, major
Bat
controversy.
bleep crazy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. It's beyond nuts.
And I don't know about it?
Nope.
How would I not know about it?
You know,
I'm on top of a lot of things.
You're so far away from it. It's a joke.
so far away from it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay?
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.